Welcome back, traders. This is my market outlook on index futures for the week of June 1st. Now, going into this week, be careful because it is the first week of the month, so we do have non-farm payroll Friday. Non-farm payroll week, we tend to have sort of a choppy week, and then Friday could have an explosive move either to the upside or to the downside, but you don't really want to be getting in before the news event because it really is a 50-50 gamble. But let's go ahead and get started with the weekly chart for S&P. Now, looking at the weekly chart, we are currently consolidating here within this old weekly SIBI. But last week we did go up and take out the previous week's high. This was the target that I was looking for. And if we were to be more accelerated to the upside, I was going to be looking for this weekly SIBI as well. But no, it came back down. And currently we are trading in this weekly SIBI. Now, because the buy side was taken, we could have a little bit of retracement looking for some sell side liquidity. And we do have a little bit of inefficiency here. There is a small weekly BISI along with a weekly volume imbalance. So I'm looking for price perhaps to trade down into here for a bounce. I don't really want to see price close below this weekly volume imbalance. And then I want to see a move up for this weekly SIBI. Now, zooming into the daily, you can see the sweep above the buy side liquidity above that previous week high, and then we have a daily SIBI and a nearby daily BISI. So a lot of inefficiencies here going into NFP week. Like I said, we could have a lot of choppiness, so we could have a prolonged consolidation range here probably before Friday, and then Friday could have an explosion either to the upside or to the downside. On the downside, here's that weekly volume imbalance and a swing low. I think we could take this sell side liquidity down here, but I don't want to see price close below this weekly volume balance. Now, on the upside, we do have this weekly SIBI that we could be going for, along with this buy side swing high right here. So like I said before in the intro, it is a 50-50 for Friday, so be careful going into non-farm payroll. Now, ideally, I am going to be slightly bullish as long as we remain in the upper half of this big orange weekly inversion fair value gap. As if we stay in the upper half only, I'll be optimistic that we're going to go more towards the upside. But overall, I really want to be cautious this week and just try and keep a neutral bias. Now, moving on to Nasdaq, this is the weekly chart. I'm looking for price to go up for these relative equal highs. I didn't mention it for ES, but yeah, ES also have relative equal highs that I'm looking for as well. Now, we have traded into this weekly SIBI, but you can see that the bodies are pretty much remaining in the lower half, barely even getting into it. So I'm looking for perhaps a retracement down lower. Now, we do have this weekly BISI, but I'm not marking it in because I'm really keeping my eye on this old weekly SIBI that I'm looking for it to be used as an inversion fair value gap. Also, I do have this weekly volume imbalance down here. This is going to be my last line of defense. I don't want to see price close below this weekly volume imbalance on a weekly basis. It can close in it, but I don't want to see it close below it. Ideally, we only stay in the upper half of this weekly inversion fair value gap, and then eventually I want to see a bounce up for these relative equal highs. Going down to a daily chart, you can see that after taking out the buy side last week, we went into the weekly SIBI and then we quickly rejected, going down and staying mostly in the lower half of that weekly SIBI. So that kind of leads me to believe, since we've already taken the buy side, that we may look for some sell side liquidity. There's a very nice swing low here. I think we could come down and take it. Also going into this weekly inversion fair value gap. Now, ideally, we take the sell side, but stay mainly in the upper half of this weekly inversion fair value gap. And then I want to look for a rally up into this daily SIBI. And of course, beyond that, we do have relative equal highs. It's kind of what I'm looking for, but zooming in, you can see that recently we do have this daily BISI here, and we're currently staying above it. I feel like we may be going in for a little bit of a consolidation within this price range from this high to this low. I think we may be consolidating because it is non-farm payroll week, and then Friday could give us an explosive move. Maybe we sweep the sell side and we go for the buy side on the same day. Who knows? NFP is pretty much a 50-50 gamble. I really don't recommend trading before the news. So that's going to do it this time. I know it's not very exciting, but NFP week, it never really is. It's pretty much the same thing over and over again. We're going to potentially have choppy conditions, so you want to be careful. have a neutral bias, and then don't get into the news before Friday because it is a 50-50 gamble. But anyways, I hope you guys have a good week. Stay safe, and until I see you guys next time, safe trading.